and welcome to the Mundane to Magical Online Summit. My name is Louise Matson and I'm your host. This summit has been created to assist people to shift their lives from the mundane to the magical, to reclaim the truth of who we all truly are and how to manifest our soul-fueled magical lives. And today I'm really excited to introduce to you Sarah Landon. Sarah is a globally celebrated transformational leader, visionary entrepreneur, spiritual advisor, and channel of the Council. After receiving written and verbal communication from the Council that changed her life, Sarah left her corporate career and devoted her life to channeling, teaching, and living the wisdom of the Council so that many others may experience the fulfillment of living their greatest life possible. The Council is an energetic presence of higher level consciousness, offering a grander perspective of the human experience and the wisdom to live one's highest potential. Together, Sarah and the Council are guiding people to answer the profound questions that we all have. Who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? And how do I live it? Countless people around the world who have applied the wisdom of the Council have created profound change in their careers, relationships, health, and daily lives. And Sarah and the Council invite you to join their thriving global community of thousands of people around the world. You can interact personally with Sarah and the Council by joining their Masters Class membership program. Each Masters Class call is like your own private session, as you receive the real-time guidance and support you need to live the wisdom in your everyday life experience. Sarah and the Council offer numerous online courses to help you go deeper into the specific topics most dear and near to your heart, with private sessions to help you gain greater clarity, release blocks, reprogram your beliefs about what's possible, and jumpstart your momentum forward towards your dreams. And if you're looking to go even deeper, or you're ready to turn your passion, your purpose, and your gifts into your profession, Sarah and the Council offer monthly transformational coaching for those looking to create immediate and long-lasting change in their lives, their careers, business, and relationships. Sarah and the Council are also helping numerous people to cultivate their own ability to communicate with the higher level consciousness like the Council. And so it's my very great pleasure to welcome you to the show, Sarah.
Thank you, Lou. I'm so happy to be here, and I love talking about going from mundane to magical and the opportunity that's there for all of us to live a truly extraordinary and miraculous life. So thank you for having me.
No, it is my absolute pleasure. I connected with you and your work through other tele-summits, but I really wanted to connect with people on this summit through video because I really loved getting a real feel for people's energy and to be able to kind of see your radiance shine through. And I think that that's possibly a lot easier for other people who are maybe just starting this process of reawakening to kind of connect with the magic that you actually just radiate from your very being. So it's an honor to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you. That's a wonderful introduction. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
So just to start, and then just in case, people haven't really connected with your work yet, I wondered if you'd just like to share a little bit about your personal journey and how you started to connect with the Council and channel these high energy beings and transform your life from a possible mundane beginning to magical.
Yes, well, if anyone would have told me at one point in my life that I would leave my corporate career and be channeling a group of non-physical beings publicly in any way, I would say they were crazy and there's no way I'm going to do something weird and woo-woo like that. Like many people, I had my life sort of planned out. I had my 3-year plan and my 5-year plan, and I did the things that I really thought I was supposed to do in order to be happy and live a successful life. And I, went to school, I got a job, I bought the house, I got married. On the outside, it looked like everything was perfect, but inside, I really knew I wasn't living my truth. I just didn't know what my truth was. I could just feel that something was not right. And I kept asking myself, is this all there is? Yeah, you can set goals and take massive action and push really hard and work 12 hours a day and make things happen, but something about that just felt off.
Mm.
And I also had always been very spiritual. I grew up Christian and I loved Jesus. And I also had an influence of a very spiritual aunt from a young age who opened my mind to the idea that anything is possible and that you can use your thoughts to create your life. And that all felt good too. But I really couldn't find the answers I was seeking. I also did a lot with personal development and this idea of goal setting and creating vision boards, all of that stuff. And while all of that works, there was still something missing for me. And what I discovered essentially was that all of that was coming from looking outside of me
Mm.
and finding the places where I'm not enough, or I don't have enough, or I'm not good enough, or which is all coming from lack.
Yeah.
And then you go out and you manifest those things and you wonder why you still feel a sense of lack or not enoughness within you. And it's because those things really, none of this is coming from outside of you. It's all coming from inside of you. And there really is this power that is greater than you, but is also you, that is available to you in every moment for the fulfillment of your soul's desires. And that's really what I came to, is that, you know, my human had a lot of desires, this wonderful personality that we know as who we are. I don't refer to it as the ego, and neither does the council. They really refer to it as our personality. And a lot of times it's that little girl or little boy within you that's sort of having the ego meltdown we might talk about. And, you know, that part of us needs nurturing and care and compassion, not pushing against and trying to resist it and thinking there's something wrong with you. So I was searching for these answers. I was, you know, living this seemingly perfect life, but not really feeling like I was living my truth, not sure what that was. And through a series of experiences, I ended up receiving channeled communication spontaneously through me. It started as writing. It started from some sort of clairvoyant, intuitive experiences. My brother had passed away, and I had the experience of being able to communicate with him and having that experience be filled with the most unbelievable sense of love and peace and comfort that I had ever felt. And I just knew that there was more. I knew there was so much more. And so when I first started receiving the counsel, it came through as written communication in the middle of the night. And I would wake up the next morning and I would read these things that had been written through me. and it was just the most extraordinary wisdom I had ever come across in my life. It answered all my questions. But there's a big difference between having wisdom, and you can have all the wisdom in the world, but if you don't apply it in your life, it's not going to change much of anything. And so I really had to commit to living this and applying it and practicing it. And when I did, my life changed in the most extraordinary ways. I live a life beyond anything I could ever imagine. And I truly feel like I'm living in heaven on earth every day. And if it's possible for me, I know it's absolutely possible for anyone, no matter what. And so after really seeing the incredible opportunity that the council's wisdom has to change your life, I left my corporate career after I think 16 years. And as I mentioned in the introduction, as you mentioned, and I'm now channeling and devoted my life to channeling, living, and applying the wisdom of the council so that others may also live an absolutely magical and extraordinary life. So, yeah, that's how it's all came about. So I encourage people. I know a lot of us have, in the last 10, maybe 15 years, you've seen your life change in ways that you couldn't have imagined. And for me, all the things that I really identified as who I was sort of started to fall away. And it felt like, you know, at some points in time in my life, I was losing everything that defined me. And yet what I discovered is, you know, it's not, life is not happening to you. Life is always happening for you. And it's not falling apart. It's really falling into place. But for most of us, we felt like we had this deeper desire to serve, to make a difference in the world. And the council says that, you know, we aren't here to save a broken world. We are not here to fix a broken world. We're not here to go find all the broken people and fix them. And we're also not here to judge whether someone is awake or asleep. Our job is to shine our light and live our truth and share the gifts that we're here to really give to the world. And so for most people right now, what I really see is that deep desire to discover what is the gift that you're here to give, or the gifts that you're here to give. What is your purpose? But also, what is it that you're really here to give to your beloved human family? And I see people every day beginning to wake up to that. And first off, I want to say that, joy does not come from someplace out there. If you want to bring joy to this world, it's going to come through you. If you want peace in this world, it's got to come through you. You are the person that's bringing love through you. You are the source of love in the world. And so when you are really in alignment with that, and within you, you are living a peaceful experience, when you are feeling deep joy in your heart, and you're doing the things each day that bring you joy, and you're doing the things that you love, and you're allowing yourself to go deeper into your heart and really live in that space, which is where a magical existence is always available to you. Start there. Really start there. And what are the things that you love? What are the things that you're curious about? What are the things that you just always find yourself drawn to? We don't all have the same gifts. And one of the special gifts that we're sharing as part of today's interview is a 4-part audio course on the 11 spiritual roles of the soul, which is helping people to really discover what role you're here to play on a deeper level, what gifts you're here to give. Because for me, I wasn't a seer. I didn't see energy. I didn't see auras. I didn't see people in non-physical. That's not how I experienced communication from the other side. And yet sometimes people think, well, if I don't see auras, then something must be wrong with me. Or if I don't get channeled information or automatic writing, then maybe I'm not that spiritual. And I loved that the council brought through this wisdom of the 11 spiritual roles to really help people understand that first and foremost, every single one of us are here as transformers. You are here in the families that you incarnated into, in the cities, in the communities, in the circles that you came into, to really help bring consciousness where patterns of negativity and prejudice and fear, oftentimes abuse, many people have come into this experience very highly evolved beings, knowing that really at a young age, but then came into families where there was patterns of physical abuse or sexual abuse or emotional abuse, and wondering, what's wrong with me? And what most of those people came to is this feeling of no more. This stops with me. And you have brought consciousness where unconsciousness has caused lifetimes of hurt for people in certain family dynamics. And so really understanding that that's one of the spiritual roles that you're here to play. You're also here as a way shower. You are here guiding this planet towards a better way. So one of the things the council is really talking about now in our new series that we're starting in February is the path of the way shower. What is it really like to be living and loving and leading in an awakening world? So you're not here to be a way demander. You're not here to be a way teller. You're here to be a way shower, which is really about living and applying this incredible wisdom that all of you have in your life every day. And then there's many other spiritual roles as well, like a visionary, like a messenger, which is what I identify with, a guide, which is really those that are helping guide others through this time of the ascension or transitioning into a fifth dimension or an awakening world, whatever you want to call it. It's essentially living a more conscious life, conscious of the thoughts that you're thinking and the way that you're living, and whether you're aligned vibrationally to joy and peace and love, which is the magic zone. And if not, what is it that you really need to let go of? And how do you really want to reprogram your subconscious mind and your awareness so that it is in alignment to the beliefs that you want to be making your truth? So I hope everybody will take advantage of accessing that 4-part online course, which is the 11 spiritual roles of the soul. I really think it will help guide people during this time of what they're really here to do and what they're really here to give in a way that feels right to them and is authentic with their own truth.
Absolutely. I mean, I've had the pleasure of listening to it already, just because I'm the host of the summit. So, and it actually, it really doesn't matter whether you're on the start of this journey and you're just starting to get these feelings that that there's more to life than this, there's more to me than this, and you're just starting to dip your toe into those questions of what am I here for, or whether you've been on the journey like I have for a number of years, well, a number of decades really, and because there was still that aspect of me. I knew when I came in, I mean, you've literally just said my life. When I came in, I was conscious of who we are, but because I came into a family that was completely unconscious, I shut it all down, locked it all away just to fit in. And there have been points where spirits have nudged me to say, come on, step into the work. And I've chosen not to, or I've kind of had a freak out moment when I have kind of, allowed myself to kind of fully open up. But it's always been that underlying question, I know I'm here to serve, but, what is my purpose? What is it that I'm here for? And your 4-part series, going through those 11 different roles, it is that, people say to me, how do I know? I don't know what my truth is. And it's when it feels right, when you hear something and it just innately feels right.
Yeah.
And that's what happened when I listened to that, because there were some aspects that I didn't even realize. Some I knew, but some I didn't realize. And it was like, oh my goodness, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
And my journey thus far has been absolutely perfect for me to be able to play out that role in the future in complete alignment with my truth. So, I absolutely recommend people going and listening to that, because it really doesn't matter how far you are along, you will get something perfect from it.
Yes, I agree. And truly, whether you have been on a spiritual path your entire life or you're just beginning to awaken to the power within you, wherever you are, it's absolutely perfect. And everything you need will come every step of the way. And the thing that I see now that really brings so much joy to my heart is that people are awakening in the most beautiful, expeditious, harmonious ways without a lot of trauma and drama if you will just let go. So I heard that a lot. People would be like, surrender, let go. I'm like, I'm trying. I don't know what you mean. And the council would say it too, just let go and surrender. And they finally really clarified, like, let go of the fear. Let go of trying to figure it all out. Let go of trying to force things your way on your timeline. Let go of the judgment of not being good enough or not being in the right place. Let go and just understand that your soul's desires are going to come for you, and you'll know and you'll feel, if you can remember just to feel your way through things and not try to figure it out. And when you really know that there's something more going on here, when you really take a moment and you cannot connect the dots looking forward, you're never going to figure it all out. So when you could just trust that there is divine orchestration at play. And how do you trust that? Look back at your life and how did you get to this moment and all the things that had to happen for you to end up right here, right now, listening to this. Those things were divinely orchestrated for you. So whatever got you here is also going to continue to guide you every step of the way going forward. And it just gets better. And you get into this flow with divine orchestration. And that really is what it's like to live a magical life. And most people, I'm sure, are familiar with the law of attraction and this idea that, if you're manifesting a parking spot and you're manifesting the green lights instead of the red lights, or you're manifesting the upgraded airplane seat, that you're in the flow. And while I think that is true to some point, it's also getting to this place where you understand exactly where you are is where you're supposed to be. Yes. So if what is in your highest and best good is to sit next to the person in row 26C, then just know that that's where you're supposed to be. And it's making this shift from, oh, well, I wonder why I'm sitting next to this person. What am I going to get from this?
Mm.
When you really get into the magic zone, you realize that it's sometimes you're there and it's about what you're there to give. It's not always about what you're there to get. And when you start aligning to that and sort of becoming consciously present to the fact that we are here as an employee of the universe, that the universe will provide. If you think of, I was in the corporate world for many years, and when I would travel for work, they pay for your airfare, they pay for your hotel, they pay for your food, all things work out because you're employed by this company, right? And so when you start allowing yourself to really be in service of the grander plan going on here, and you allow yourself to be part of the divine orchestration, which delivers magic and miracles to others, the universe just takes such good care of you, and there's nothing better. And back to the 11 spiritual roles of the soul, for most people, when they go through that program, at least the first part of it, they initially identify, oh, I'm a messenger, and I'm a visionary, and I'm a way shower, and I'm a guide. And you can also see some of the other roles. So an uplifter. We have these friends in our lives that are just like, they're the life of the party no matter what. They're always happy. They always uplift people. They've maybe learned how to use humor and things to make things lighthearted. And there's, the connectors, those people that are always connecting you. They're fixing up their friends. They're always like, oh, well, you need to meet this person and that person. And I could easily identify those people in my life when the council brought through those roles. But as I got farther on, I realized, every opportunity that you have is to consciously step into playing those roles. And I wasn't a natural connector. I wasn't that person who naturally was trying to connect people. But after doing that course and really practicing and applying the wisdom that comes through me from the council, I realized that, I'm going to consciously choose to be a connector in this world and try to connect people. And the rewards that have come from that for me are invaluable. And to see other people connect and amazing things happen for them just makes you go so much deeper into gratitude and appreciation for all that is here. Same with being an uplifter. I have one friend that she's always the uplifter in every situation. And I thought, well, why don't I step into that role? And it was really because I had kind of put on this hat that, I'm the one that always is very grounded and very balanced and always, very reliable and always has, something positive and uplifting to say, but I wasn't necessarily considering myself to be the fun, playful one. And a really big part of stepping into manifestation in an awakened world or a fifth dimensional reality is, and getting, I think the next evolution of beyond the law of attraction is that really that your manifestations are instant. They come from a place of innocence, and you're really impeccable with your manifestations. And the hardest part, I think, for most people is really getting to that state of innocence where you allow yourself to just know you are more than enough. You are absolutely good enough. You do not have to earn your right to be here. You don't have to do anything more to be worthy of all of the love that is here for you. You are perfect, yet you're always expanding and becoming more. And so when we allow ourselves to be more open to that energy, and in our innocence, we are playful, we are fun, we allow ourselves to experience joy. And that's where your creativity will come from. If you're feeling stuck or you don't think you're very creative in your life, if you don't feel a whole lot of passion in your life, it's usually because you're not connected to that innocence within you. When you let yourself play and have fun and you step into consciously, intentionally being an uplifter, oh my gosh, like the most amazing things happen. And you'll find your life absolutely is magical. And for me, that was a big step. If we're talking mundane to magical, if you're in your head trying to always figure everything out and you're always trying to force things and effort it and make it happen and achieve your goal on your time frame the way you think it should be, your life's not going to be very magical because you're not allowing this incredible source that creates worlds, which is you, to really flow through you in its pure positive fullness.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely something that I've experienced. I mean, we're literally trained from birth to behave in a certain way, and we're trained into what is expected of us.
Mm-hmm.
And we quite often follow that pattern quite blindly. And yet when we're shifting, it is really shifting your perspective into, okay, it doesn't matter what I've been taught about meeting deadlines and, you know, having to-do lists and, you know, these responsibilities that I have to be done.
Yeah.
It's about really connecting with, what am I feeling? You know, what do I want to do in this moment? You know, where is my joy in this moment? And it may not be the to-do list. It may not be the deadline meeting, or, you know, whatever it is. And I know some people out there will say, well, that's all very easy to say, but I'm a mother, I'm a worker, you know, I have to live in this third dimensional world. But from my experience, those things get done if you actually allow yourself to go with the flow of where your energy is calling you to go, rather than where your head is dictating this needs to be done in this now moment kind of thing.
Oh, I love that you said that. And I completely agree. And here's a really easy exercise that you can do. Anytime you sort of notice you're feeling overwhelmed, or I certainly understand that feeling of, yeah, good for you, but I got little kids, or I got a job, or I got all these things I got to do, right? The first thing is to just shift your awareness from your head. If you notice when you're in that state, you're totally in your head. All of your attention is really in your brain. And the first step is just to shift your awareness from your head and just move it down into your heart. And it sometimes helps to just close your eyes and take a breath and just move your awareness from your head down into your heart. And just sort of feel that for a moment. Just feel that your whole body relaxes. And if you take a few deep breaths from that place, and just really let yourself be in this place of ease in your heart, just know that you're okay and that everything's okay. And just breathe. And then feel your heart expanding. Just feel that light within you that's in that sacred heart space. Just feel it expanding out from the center of your being, just all around you. Just feel yourself expanding. Just feel that light coming from your heart, going into every cell of your body, and going out from you and through you, just shining all around you. Just take a few deep breaths from there. Maybe even smile with your eyes closed. Just say, what can I do right now that would bring me joy? What can I do right now that would bring me joy? And for most of us, if we're really in that place, you have a smile on your face and you're asking yourself, what can I do right now to bring me joy? You might notice that what you hear is, or what you feel is, this knowing that you're already in your joy. You already feel that joy. There's nothing you need to go out and do. You can feel that alignment to the vibration of joy right where you are, which is really what it is to be in the flow. And maybe there's something that comes up, maybe you want to go play with your child, or maybe there's someone you get inspired to call, or maybe you just think, oh, I would just love to go outside and sit and feel the sunshine on my face, or pet your dog or your cat. But go do that thing, whatever it is, whatever you really feel guided to in that moment. Go do that thing and allow yourself to really feel that joy. Because in addition to raising your vibration, you're also reprogramming your subconscious mind to be looking for joy and to be finding the joy and aligning with the joy in your life. And the vibration of joy is really what you're going for. That's where the inspired ideas are. That's where inspired action comes in. That's where you're in the state of knowing exactly where to go or what to do. And everything that you need will come from there if you'll just really allow yourself to align with that vibration of joy. And the more you do this, the more you'll feel that you're already there. It just took a couple moments of going within and being conscious. And, the big shift that I see happening right now in my own life and a lot of people that are in the master's class, and I notice that different people that get channeled information, in addition to myself, we oftentimes get similar things. And the movement I'm sort of seeing around this right now is all to this place of understanding that your heart, the area around your heart, for some people, maybe it goes down towards your upper abdomen, your chest, but this is really your power center. Yeah. This is really where all of your power comes from. And you are an endless generator of power. It does not matter where you have given power away in your life before, you can always generate more power. And that power is love. Love really is the most transformative power in the universe. And when you learn how to really harness that and access that, and you get really comfortable living from that place, your life will absolutely be magical, I promise you. And understand that you have the ability in every moment to shift anything that's going on, whether it's chaos around you or disagreement, if you will just go into your heart. And when you really get this with your with your feeling space instead of your thinking space, when you start to see others from your heart space instead of from your head, when you really just are looking at someone and you drop into your heart and you start seeing them and experiencing them from there, you'll find so much harmony in your life with others. You'll know exactly what to say. You'll know exactly what to do. People will feel different in your presence, which means that things will start showing up differently for you. And so, you might hear that. You might have heard something like that before, but if you really will do it and apply it, you'll see that your life really begins to change. And so one of the things that the council says is that, what we're really afraid of, like our fear, the reason why we stress and the reason why we're anxious or worried, or we start living in the future, or we go into the past. And anytime we're in the future, stressed and anxious and worried about the future, we're not in our power. Anytime you're in the past and you're in shame, which, by the way, is the heaviest, densest human emotion, it's not fear, it's shame, which most of us carry. When you're in shame or guilt or regret or blaming, you're living in the past and you have no power there either. All of your power is in this now moment, right here. All of your power is in this moment. And what we're really most worried about is that we cannot stay conscious and present enough in each moment to fully allow our power through us in our presence. Because if we do that, if you're really just in the moment, really present, you will know exactly what to say. You'll know exactly what to do in every situation, no matter what it is. And so just practicing that, many, many years ago, I read The Power of Now, Eckhart Tolle, and I read his book, A New Earth, and I just thought he was a genius, and I loved him, and I loved what he said. And I tried to read The Power of Now, and I'm like, I don't know, it's not that fun for me. I was just like, I don't get it. And it took me years to really get that everything is in the now moment, and all of your power is in the now moment. And when you really know that you can access that power within you, which comes from your heart space, from your power center, when you really can drop into your heart no matter what is going on, which means you get out of your head, judging what's going on, pushing against, when you're in resistance. If you are resisting anything that's going on, you are not in the flow. If you're reacting to what's going on, you're not in the flow. And the easiest thing to do is just accept just the way it is right now, drop into your heart, align with your power, and you'll know exactly what to do, no matter what the situation is. And then you don't need to stress and worry about the future because you know you can stay present enough in every moment that you're aligned to your power. And in your power, you will always, always have everything that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny because one of the things for me was kind of understanding that an aspect of my life purpose is to assist people from this path of disempowerment to what I say is standing in your sovereignty. It's like being able to radiate your light, standing in your truth, your authenticity. And one of the things that I realized a couple of years ago, about 3 years ago now, when I kind of hit my dark night of the soul, was I was actually really scared of standing in my power. You know, it was something that I was the responsibility to be present, fully present in the moment, and be responsible and conscious of every thought, every emotion, all the energy that we're putting out into the field was like, do you really want to do that? And it was a process in itself to take those steps into practicing being fully present. And actually the thing that kind of broke through was love, because it is all about love. And it was my inability to love myself. You know, all those walls of protection and everything that I'd built around my heart, I realized my heart wasn't open. And that's why I couldn't connect with my power, you know, and the minute that I kind of had that realization and really started working on just, you know, letting go of the shame, the guilt, and all of those other things that were the walls that built around my heart, and did a lot of the forgiveness work, things really shifted for me, and everything that I was worried about kind of fell away. It was kind of an irrelevance from that point on.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you said that because, you know, a lot of us feel this sense of wanting to change the world, right? We really want to make this world a better place. Mm. And what the council says is, you know, what the world really needs is love. Mm. And if you want to change anything, do so with love, because love is what changes people. Love is what changes others. Love is what changes the world. And love is what changes you. And it's really your own self-love for most all of us that is the love we need the most. We look outside of ourselves and say, oh, if I had, you know, this, or if I had that, or if I had this person or that person, you know, and it's not. The thing that we need the most is our own self-love. And the council says that your greatest achievement here in the human experience is not fame or fortune. It's not, you know, a certain amount of Facebook likes or even a certain amount of money, right? It's not any of that stuff. It's the greatest achievement here is your own self-love, because self-love is the path to really allowing yourself to be in your power and to consciously co-create your life and to allow yourself to manifest the desires of your soul, because the desires of your soul are usually really wonderful and big and amazing. And we're the ones who keep ourselves stuck. You know, we're the ones who keep ourselves in these negative thought patterns where, you know, your brain is just on autopilot, continuing to tell you that you're not good enough, or who am I to be that powerful, or who am I to, you know, have a voice in the world for change and for a better way, you know. And that goes back to the shame. You know, for most people, we're all carrying shame about something until you become conscious of it. And the council will say that, you know, it doesn't really matter where it came from. It doesn't matter how long you've had it. Doesn't matter, you know, it's not about going back into the past and reliving those dense, heavy, highly emotional experiences that you've probably been through. But it's in this moment to allow those things that do not serve you to come to the light so that they can be released. And so just being consciously aware of the thoughts that you keep reinforcing of not being good enough or not being powerful or shaming yourself for things in the past, you know, the council says from their vibration, there's absolutely nothing to forgive. Everything is forgiven in the moment that it happens. You are forgiven. All is forgiven because from the highest truth, there is only love. There's only love. There is only love. And when you're aligned with that, it feels really good. When you're believing or thinking or making something other than that your truth, it doesn't feel very good. And most of the time, it's not about what we're thinking about other people. It's what you're thinking about yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say that people are a mirror to ourselves. You know, if you're triggered by something that somebody is saying or the way they're behaving, you know, smile, say, well, that's interesting, and kind of like look within. It may not be exactly the same energy, but there is an essence of that within yourself that you are either ashamed of or you feel negatively about. And for me, that journey was really about kind of radical self-acceptance, which is basically self-love. And it was interesting because I realized up until that point, I honestly couldn't have told you what brought me joy, because I'd really never considered myself important enough to kind of even relate to myself in that way. And that starting to accept myself, love myself, allow myself to be okay, just really opened everything up really massively.
And I don't think your experience is unusual. When I do private sessions with people and this topic comes up of, you know, what brings you joy? For most people, they don't even know, because they're out there trying to force it and effort and make things happen and push. And so they don't even know what brings them joy. And after doing so many sessions with people and finally getting to the place of being able to access that joy and what brings them joy, for most people, it's all the same. It's nature. It's a beautiful piece of music. It's time with people you love. It's, you know, hiking or doing yoga or journaling or, you know, drawing or painting or singing or dancing, being with their dogs, being with their children, being with their grandchildren, you know, petting their cat, animals. You know, it's not the yacht and the Ferrari and the huge bank account. You know, all of those things are great, but it doesn't have to be that. And there's not one person that in this moment cannot access their joy, no matter how much money you have or no matter what your circumstances are. The council says that there are 3 things that no one and nothing can ever take away from you. 3 things. And one of them is your ability to raise your vibration in every moment, the ability to really control your vibration, appreciation, which is the very definition of appreciation. And the council uses appreciation over the word gratitude or being grateful. Appreciation because it's an action. It's actually the enjoyment of the good. The definition of appreciation is the enjoyment of the good in your life, the good in the world, the good in others, and the good in you. Really important. And so if you don't access joy and you don't really think you have a lot of joy in your life, it's going to be pretty hard to get into a deep state of appreciation. But the third thing is that no one and nothing can ever take away from you, no matter what. You know, back to that mother that has 3 or 4 kids that, you know, doesn't have the time for herself. No matter what, you can always access your imagination, and you can use your imagination in this moment, aligned with your power and aligned with your presence, to really go into the vibrational reality of anything that would bring you joy in that moment. So for some people, they would say, well, you know, it really brings me joy to walk on the beach and on a warm, sunny, beautiful day. And they'll say, well, I can't do that because I live in a cold place and it's winter. And the council would say, but in this moment, you can go into your imagination because there is a vibrational reality that exists right here in this moment in your energetic field that you have full access to, where you yourself are walking on the beach, feeling the warm sunshine on your face and the warm sand under your feet, and you can be there in that experience just as powerfully as you want to be in this moment. No one ever can take away your imagination. And imagination is really our creativity zone. It's really that place where we create and co-create, and we go and explore and have experiences and remember that the truth of who you are is light. The truth is who you are is vibration, is energy. You are not just this physical body, but we are perceiving our life through our physical senses, and that's what we tend to think is real. But the experience right now, the truth of you walking on the beach with the sunshine on your face and feeling the warm sand under your feet, is just as real as whatever your physical senses are perceiving about your now moment.
Absolutely. And that's one of the things, certainly for me. I mean, I spent most of my childhood in my imagination.
Yeah.
In these wonderful worlds, and through that was able to communicate and connect with earth elementals and dragons and all kinds of beautiful high vibrational beings. And one of the things that I find the most sad about the world that we have been living in up until this point is that there always comes a point where you're taught that is childish, and that we have to kind of put that to one side and step into kind of the real world, where in fact this whole summit has been the kind of shifting back, getting off the treadmill of the illusion of what the real world is, and back to somebody said it in one of the interviews, magic in motion, which is your imagination. And because that's where the magic happens. It doesn't matter what you're doing in any one moment, whether you're working as a manual laborer or you're doing the dishes or whatever. You can be doing the most mundane, if you like to use that word, task, and yet how you perceive it, where you are in your reality, is determined by how expansive your imagination is and how it can be.
Yeah, and I would also add that it's really about grounding yourself. I think the big piece that we often miss here is, yes, you can astral project, or you can be out in this, world out there, and that's all fine and good. But what you really came here for is the experience of being physical and grounding yourself in this human experience, such that you are so present in each moment that you do fully open yourself to all the other things that are here beyond your physical senses that you can, see or hear or taste or touch or smell. We also are considering, is thought a way that we perceive our human experience? Our thoughts are a sense. They're not necessarily reality. So when you can fully ground yourself in this moment into whatever it is that you're doing, whether you're washing the dishes or you're gardening or you're driving to work, if you can really ground yourself in that moment, but also open up to everything that's there for you. And you do that through your vibration. You do that through the thoughts that you're thinking. You do that through your own sense of allowing, and back to the letting go and surrendering thing. What does that mean, allowing? Allowing, the truth of who you are, and letting go of those feelings of you should be doing something else, you should have done something better, you should have this, you should have that, right? To really just open yourself up to how perfect you are and how loved you are and how perfect this moment is, whatever's going on, knowing that whatever is happening right now is happening for you. And the council says in the moment that we make our transitions, in the moment we release the density of this body, we're going to beg for just one more second, one more minute of just being human, because there's nothing better going on anywhere. And when you know that, then you can take that into everything that you're doing, whether you're waiting in line or driving in traffic or doing the dishes. Start seeing those as, wow, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be. And, what is the state of appreciation? Really enjoying the good. If you're in your car driving somewhere, you are more blessed with the opportunity to have a car than most people on this planet.
Yeah.
Having children to clean up after is an absolute joy. It's going into the deep appreciation and the enjoyment of the good in the world around you and in others, and especially the good in you. And if in that moment you're just enjoying the goodness that is you and allowing all of your goodness to flow to you, you will see magical things show up in your life that you could never imagine. And it just gets better. It just gets better every day. I don't know how that's possible. I really don't, but I really feel like every single day it just gets better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. I mean, it is really about that, isn't it? Us embodying that within ourselves. We didn't come here to have to be spiritual beings or energetic beings having a meditative experience, an experience outside of the body. We came into this form for the reason of experiencing life with this physical form and all the wonders that we gain from that. It's just using the senses, the physical senses, to their utmost capacity, and not limiting ourselves through them. That's really I really love that.
I really what the core of the council's teaching is to bring forth the wisdom to live your highest potential. And what is our highest potential? What I'm starting to realize is it is our opportunity to live fully present in this physical experience, but also living in a higher vibrational experience. So stepping into what some may call an awakened world or a fifth dimension, or really ascending. To me, ascending does not mean you like pop out of your body and go live in the ethers through all eternity. Like ascension to me is to raise your vibration and such that your experience continues to expand. So when you raise your own vibration, the cells of your body respond. And so anything in your life, whether, the council says that money, relationships, our health, our body, these are the playgrounds that we learn to master our power. So money is not this big, stressful, awful, difficult, elusive thing. It's a playground where you learn to master your power. You learn that money is an energy, it's a resource. And the truth is that you have everything you need and more. And, you can allow anything through you, and don't make money your middleman. You don't necessarily even have to have the money to allow what is really meant for you. And the same with relationships. And I loved what you said about triggers. And when we really understand that our relationships are helping us master our power, which means we're not giving power away. We're not needing to take power from others. We don't need to control the other. We do not own our spouse. We do not own our spouse. Like the person who is there for you in that moment, they're there in that moment. And our job is to love them and create with them and play and explore. The council says, don't be out there like searching for the long lost part of you, get into alignment with your joy and start, attracting your playmates, like what we're doing right here. This is fun. And, the same with your body. When you start allowing yourself to feel more joy and ease and flow in your life, the healing power of source can flow through your body, and it will literally rejuvenate every cell of your body, and your entire being will be living in a higher vibrational experience. And, there's so much more that's possible for us from that place. But no matter where you are and no matter what your life is like at this moment, just trust that everything is going to work out for you. It absolutely will. You're going to have everything that you need and more on this journey. And there really is only love here for you. And for everyone, it's really stepping into this understanding that you really can have it all, whatever that means for you. Loving, harmonious, authentic relationships, a healthy body and a sense of well-being, and feeling energized each day, and for whatever you need to flow to you for whatever it is that you want and need to do in each moment, it's all here for you, and it just continues to get better. So just know you're not alone on this path, and just opening yourself to all the love that's here for you and the guidance that's here for you. I find a lot of people now are really wanting to access their own channeled, communication or higher level of awareness, whether that's, things that you see or your intuition. A lot of people opening to light language I've seen in the last few years, your own healing abilities to heal others or the land or animals, or your own ability to get channeled messages, whether it comes in written communication or a sense of knowing, or you hear sort of a voice. Just allow that to unfold with time. Don't compare your gift to anyone else's. You have a unique gift that only you can give. And if you really want to feel passion and joy in your life, it's about giving your gifts and allowing your gifts to flow through you. That is, to me, the absolute magic of life, and what will help you allow in all the extraordinary things that are here for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely resonate with that. I mean, I've channeled messages my whole life, and I denied it and locked it away for so long. And then as I started on this really accelerated path of kind of reconnecting with myself and my truth, and accepting all that I am and all aspects of me, the realization that we block so much because we judge it, or we block it because we're embarrassed by it. Or we try and understand it on a cognitive level, when really we don't need to kind of engage in it in that level. It's just about accepting and allowing that to flow in that one moment. I would get pictorial light language flowing in front of my eyes. And the minute I tried to kind of understand what it was, to actually look at what the symbols were, to cognitively work out what it was saying, or, then I'd lose it. Or I would get tones flowing through me that just wanted to be expressed, and I would literally stop them at my throat chakra because I was embarrassed of the sound that was possibly going to come out, and it wasn't going to be pitch perfect, and all of this kind of stuff. And just getting back to what you were saying earlier, let go of all of that.
Yeah. I think the hardest part about channeling for me when I first started receiving the counsel was trusting it, giving myself, giving it permission to come through me, and not trying to figure out why what they were saying was coming through me. And, it's interesting. I had this come up in a session this week where someone was having a similar experience. They could see things, and then, it would stop. And to your point about the light language or whatever it is that someone might be experiencing, the second you shift into your head, it's usually going to shut it off. Because you're slowing your vibration to go into a logical, figure it out state. You're actually like lowering your vibration, which is what stops the experience from coming through. So if in those moments, you'll just have a brief second of consciousness where you're going to be able to choose whether you stay in your heart and stay in that vibration, or if you're going to go into your head and try to figure it out. So if you can just teach your body when you feel that to just drop into your heart. I also teach people this is if you're one of those, like I was, a former recovering type A personality that, force effort, make things happen. Teach your body to stop. Like, teach your body when you feel that coming up in you to just stop. Take a deep breath and just stop. And in a very short period of time, your body will actually stop before you go to that, try to push it, force it, control it, manipulate effort thing. And the same thing, if you have a gift that's trying to come through you, teach yourself in that one little conscious moment there to just drop deeper into your heart and allow it to flow through you, and trust yourself. And it will continue to open that experience up for you.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I would definitely go with that. And like you, I used to call myself a control freak, and then a control enthusiast, and then it's like, just allowing yourself more and more to kind of surrender out of that need to.
Yeah, when you realize, you're like, hey, I'm not in control. That's up to the universe. My job's to be in joy and to do the things that bring me joy and to love people and to love myself and to love my life and to feel good and to follow that. And, I'm like, hey, I'm not in control. I don't know. And I never thought I'd say that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's like, the weight that comes off your shoulders when you actually let go of that. It's like, well, I'm not in control. I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah, it'll happen in divine time, the divine right way, whatever it's supposed to be. So yeah, it's wonderful.
Absolutely. I'm just aware that we're coming up to the hour. And one of the things that I wanted to touch on was just something that I picked up from your conversation with John Burgos on the Beyond the Ordinary show, was that around about June time, the council was saying, this isn't the energy of doing anything. It's just about being and allowing, and I certainly felt that was definitely the energy that I was in. But for me, I definitely felt a shift in the energy, and I just wondered if the council has anything to say or suggest on the energy and how we can best work with the energy of the time now to move forward into our fullest potential.
Oh, what a good question. I think this goes back to the power of your heart. And, you were talking about when you were a child and you had experiences of things. And, again, this is back to innocence. I think what a lot of us experienced was a slowing down. And the council said, it really was a slowing down in order to speed up. You might have felt like you were slowing down, but you weren't really slowing down. You were slowing down to speed up. And I also sort of think, we're all in this experience together. And I truly believe those of us that are here to be way showers, a big part of the spiritual roles is to understand yours so that we can start fitting the puzzle pieces together. And, if you think about the internet, the ability to connect with people, all over the world via video at any moment, that's really what teleportation sort of kind of is, right? I mean, look at all these incredible things that are kind of happening. And when we really live from our heart, communication is essentially very telepathic. Like you can go into your heart and think of someone and send them love and they call you. Yeah. And they say, I was thinking of you, right? So we're already there. Like we are already stepping into some of these evolutionary ways of being and exploring and living. And yet I sort of get the feeling that it's like, we were waiting for all of the passengers to get on the bus, we're all going someplace really special, which to me is living in the new earth or in a new world. And I think, we're all in this together. And the more you raise your own vibration, people ask me a lot of times of, what do you think is going to happen? Are we going to have like this spontaneous awakening, or is this something going to happen? And, what the council continues to say is that, you are here to help positively contribute to the raising of the vibration of your human family. Mm-hmm. And people will say, oh, that sounds great. And then they'll tell me how stressed out and miserable and anxious they are. Mm-hmm. That's not positively raising the vibration of your human family, right? So your job is your own peace, the joy within you, the love within you. And that when you're really in those vibrations, that's what you're contributing to the world around you. That's what you're bringing. Mm-hmm. That's what you're giving. So the more you can really be in your heart, and I do think that as we positively contribute to the raising of the vibration of our human family, at a certain point in time, the consciousness will raise such that people will naturally be in the vibration of peace and joy and harmony and love and cooperation and collaboration and contribution. And so if you feel like that at certain times in your life where you're feeling sort of slowed down, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to go have fun. Go do the things that bring you joy. Go play. Go do the things that you really enjoy. Go explore. Go have fun. Go be creative. Yeah. And if there's something that you need to do, you will be in a vibration that the knowing will be there. The inspired action, the inspired idea, the inspiration will find you there far more easily.
Mm-hmm.
when I'm receiving the counsel, it is the absolute most loving, joyful, blissful vibration. It is this knowing. And in that, I don't have any questions. You know everything that you need to know. You know everything is perfect. You can just feel it. And so even if you find yourself sort of slowing down, just know that there's something more going on, that is happening for you. And you may not be able to connect the dots in this moment of how that's going to work out. But if you absolutely trust and know that the dots will all connect and the puzzle pieces will fall into place and it's all going to make sense. And at some point, you're going to see why all of this was happening for you, and just trust that. I do feel an incredible momentum right now. This is the time, I was very, very guided that, we're starting this course in February, which is about the path of the way shower. And I do think that was a big part of what the slowdown was about, is to really step into this higher dimensional experience that's here for all of us. And what is it like living and loving and leading in an awakening world? What is it like to be really thriving in your life from a fully awakened place? And we cannot take the third dimensional limitations, separateness. You cannot bring judgment of yourself into a new earth, into heaven on earth, into the fifth dimension. You can't take fear and lack about money. You can't take shame and blame and guilt. You can't take this vibration of being a victim. You have to fully step into your power in order to start living in the awakened world that's here for you in the fifth dimension. And so I think for some of us, it was a time of getting back into our innocence and playing and having fun and just knowing that there's more going on here and having an experience of that. So just know that everything that you need is within you. The core teaching, the council said, if you would just get this one thing, all you need. But if you can really know this, that you are everything you wish to be, you already are. And your calling and your purpose, it is within you. It always has been. And everything you need is within you. And when you really know that, life is absolutely magical. So thank you for this time today. I have really, really appreciated it and the opportunity to speak with you. And it just felt magical. So thank you.
No, and it's been absolutely wonderful. And I think that's a perfect place to end on as well. So thank you so much, Sarah. It has absolutely been a beautiful experience connecting with you and just sharing what came through. And yeah, I know I can relate to everything that you've said. And so I'm sure that it will have touched many, many of the audience who are watching in, no matter when they're watching, whether they're watching it during the airing of the summit or at some point in the future. So thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. All my love. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here with you today. And yes, whenever you hear this is perfect, it's exactly when you're meant to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we will wrap this interview up now. Thanks again to Sarah for a beautiful interview and for sharing her wisdom and the wisdom of the council with us. And in your inbox tomorrow, there will be another beautiful interview for you to enjoy and to gain the magic and the benefits and the wisdom from that. So until then, take care. I'm sending you all my love. Have a great rest of your day. Bye.
Bye.